For an artist, at what point does catering to your audience turn into sacrificing who you are? That's the question explored in the witty new film American Fiction from writer and director Cord Jefferson, which hits theaters on December 15th. The movie stars Jeffrey Wright as Thelonious Ellison, a writer whose career has reached a commercial slump. As a black man, he initially scoffs at other black writers who appear to pander to white audiences in order to drive book sales, such as a best-selling author who he encounters at a book conference, played by President Barbie herself, Issa Rae. The film pulls no punches in its biting satire of the way white liberal intellectuals subtly, and not so subtly, patronize people of color. A scene at the beginning of the movie shows Ellison dealing with a white student who objects to his usage of the N-word. A mostly white audience gives Issa Rae's character a standing ovation after she reads a brief passage from her book that's written in very stereotypical vernacular black English. As the movie goes on, Ellison experiences some frustration when his publisher recommends he writes a quote-unquote black book, essentially telling him his books are not marketable enough. So he decides to write a book told from the perspective of a criminal fugitive as a joke. This joke backfires, the book gets picked up and becomes an overnight bestseller. Then Ellison is thrust into the awkward situation of trying to sell a book he secretly hates under a fake pseudonym. I've always had a soft spot for movies about writers. I love movies like Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell, or Can You Ever Forgive Me with Melissa McCarthy. So I knew this was going to be a film that would be up my alley, and I was right. This is a very clever film with some excellent dialogue and one-liners throughout that will leave you chuckling. It's also a very human story at its core, with some standout performances from its supporting cast, such as Tracee Ellis Ross, who plays Ellison's sister. The film's central theme about catering to your audience while not selling out is something I find very compelling to explore on film. It's something I feel as a writer and content creator when I'm trying to decide what to publish on the internet. I could publish something that gets 30 views that I think is really interesting, or I could publish something that's written for an SEO-driven algorithm that could get 400,000 views. It's a subject that I think a lot of people deal with, and the film has a lot to say about it. It's something that it ponders from different angles as the film goes on, while also, of course, exploring the ways that Black Americans are boxed into archetypes even by people who claim to be supportive. Now, there was one element of this movie that I wasn't crazy about, and that was Ellison's brother, played by Sterling K. Brown. He's a gay man who's portrayed as your stereotypical party gay. He does drugs, he sleeps around, sometimes with two guys at the same time. It's not that the character lacked depth. I did like the story arc between Ellison and his brother in the movie. But in a film about the ways that stereotypes can limit you, it felt out of place to have a character that checked off so many cliches about gay men. Altogether though, the film came together in the end with one of the best endings I've seen on screen in recent memory. I suspect that American Fiction will be in heavy consideration during awards season, especially in the best screenplay categories. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. You can see American Fiction in theaters on December 15th.